All right. Green screen's a little messed up, but probably won't be that noticeable in game. Alright. Wonder why these doors closed behind me. Yeah, I probably should have started the start of this area. Alright. It's a kind of cool bow. Hi there. Curious nerd. The thing is, I really wanted to change the Ash of War on my bow. How are you? Thank you for joining the stream. Enchanted shot. Okay, I'll roll with this and see how it is. I mean, the Rain of Arrows one is pretty situational. Sorry if there's a delay between me seeing the messages and me answering them. There's a lot of those hands. Damn it. Oh, he takes no damage. He looks glitched though right now. Mask of Confidence. That looks like what those guys wear. Oh. well, not a great start. Hope everyone's having a nice holiday season. Have you tried Lies of P? I haven't, but I've been I've been looking at it, and I think I'm gonna get it next. Bob Marley is overrated. You'd have to ask my dad about that, because he'd probably disagree. He met Ziggy Marley and actually tried to like get a concert organized with Ziggy Marley. I don't know if he did. Good chance he did. But he was very much into reggae. But no, I've heard of Lies of P. I haven't tried it. It looks really good, and I have been looking for. So Bloodborne is one of my favorite games of all time. I just love the aesthetic, the combat, and everything about it, the setting, and the story as well. Dude, shoot that damn bow already. This is an annoying situation. Where did this guy even come from? I don't know if I should just bypass all this and just go this way. Does your dad puff the magic dragon? He doesn't, unfortunately. I bet he would if I offered him some. But nobody has introduced it to him. Stoner music? I think all music is, in a way, stoner music. Well, not exactly, but all music is improved when you're stoned. Or not improved, but altered in a way that could potentially enhance it. Sorry about my terrible gameplay. I am not normally this bad, I think. I just gotta think of a strategy for beat this guy. I'm gonna use my little sword. I mean, okay, I think I'll try to take out... I'll take out the hands first. And there's a whole bunch of those hands everywhere. That's way too strong. I need like more magic defense. Maybe that's it. I quit smoking weed just a few months ago. Oh, cool. Hope you're not, I mean, weed, depends like how much you smoked or how much you took, but the withdrawals can be very bad, but it varies. Where some people have like the most horrible withdrawals ever, and a lot of people, perhaps the majority, don't really have any withdrawals other than like maybe like light irritation and cravings. Should I just go for a ranged... So, okay, what I'll do is... I know I can take these guys out with the... Oh, not what I meant to do. Okay, should have not have activated him. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to miss. Yeah, irritation? Yeah. But hopefully it's not too bad. Why'd you quit? Come on, man. Smoked every day for 20... Every day? Whoa. I mean, yeah, that's becoming more normal, where people will do it every day. But I wouldn't be able to handle that. That's... For me, like, it just reduces my short-term memory by an insane degree, to the point where, like, if I'm in the middle of a conversation, I might forget what the conversation's about. I didn't want to be emotionally enslaved to a plant anymore. Yeah. I've heard it described as like a seductive trickster, where like, oh, I have no arrows, but I still have magic. Ugh. Do I have any arrows? Dwelling arrows? Go with flamed arrows, yeah. Maybe also St. Trina's arrows. Dwelling arrows. After quitting, realized weed steals your sleep. Yeah, it does. It'll reduce your dreams. I'm not sure what that's about. It's almost like being high. God damn it. Is like itself kind of like being in a dream state, so when you actually sleep, it's not as potent? I don't know. That's just my riffing. I know this is not the time to ask about this, but besides Joseph Campbell, who do you recommend as a great analyzer and writer about mythology? Oh, yeah, no, you can ask about that. No worries. Yeah. You can ask about anything that's related to my channel. No worries at all. Just because I'm playing this game. I'd love to have a discussion about other stuff, including this game and how bad I am at it. But I would recommend Analyzer of Mythology. What's his name? There's a good one. There's a good one who just kind of like does general religion scholarship. Who's pretty famous. What's his name? Okay, well, another one that's coming to mind is Mircea Eliade. I don't know if he goes specifically into mythology, but he does like talk a lot about shamanism, and like, oh yeah, he does talk about mythology in some of his works. That's a really good one. Really good writing style, I think. Very just different writing style. He was Romanian, and his works, when translated to English, are pretty interesting. There's another one, but I'm forgetting his name right now. I would say Eric Norman's pretty good at analyzing mythology, but obviously from a psychological lens, or a specifically psychological lens. Okay, dude, please. But yeah. Can't be healthy, spiritually healthy? I mean, yeah, anything in excess can't be spiritually healthy. Like, the way I use weed. Sorry for any of my viewers who assumed that I was abstinent or against drugs or anything. But the way it affects me is so intense that I can't really use it every day. Like, I don't know, it's just very anxiety-inducing. And like, not that in and of itself is a bad thing, because when you experience anxiety, it does put you in a different state. If you can navigate the kind of waters of anxiety without trying to run away from the feeling, you can benefit a lot from anxiety, because it puts you in a state where you're very receptive to what's actually out there. This might be a good time to actually, god damn it, spend so much time. To talk about the difference between fear and anxiety. Because fear is a response to something that you're experiencing directly in front of you. and you're scared of it, and so you feel the need to flee from it. Anxiety is more like the kind of fear that you feel in anticipation of something. In anticipation, like, because specifically, it's not about anything in particular, but like, because your mind is kind of presented with a void of possibilities, you begin to imagine all sorts of possibilities, and those possibilities make you scared. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're anxious for a test, the test isn't in front of you. So, like, you're not really scared about the test as it is. You're scared about what the test could be. So, like, your mind is just racing with possibilities. And it's specifically that possibility space that gives you anxiety. It's not the... God damn it. It's not the... It's not like the substance of the test itself. It's more so like the void. You're confronted with a void, and so your mind tries to fill it. So what I was trying to say before is that if you're experiencing anxiety, and you're able to, like, kind of navigate it without trying to escape very desperately, which is what most people do when they experience anxiety, because anxiety is a very painful feeling. Your mind is in a more receptive state because it's kind of like presented with the void, and then your mind will jump from different ideas trying to fill that void. And that kind of state of jumping between ideas will make you really receptive to kind of new ways or new insights that'll really be enriching. So, like, in a way, I use weed to provoke anxiety so that I can experience that. As weird as that sounds. But also the weed itself has an effect that I also utilize. Yeah, maybe I'll be an occasional user someday. Yeah, I mean, that's always ideal, right? It's like drinking. It's not like you don't want to drink every single day, but, like, it would be nice if you could drink sometimes on special occasions and whatnot. That's the kind of way we should approach any kind of drug, in moderation, and also knowing when it's excessive. But luckily, weed isn't, like, super harmful. It's not like one of the harder drugs that will, like, really mess you up from prolonged use. But it does have an effect. It does have an effect on your brain. Specifically, it seems to reduce the amount of white matter in your brain, which is probably pretty closely related to that whole short-term memory thing. Because I need some mana. Because the white matter in our brains is associated with the consolidation of memories. We form more white matter. God damn it! From when our brains are trying to, like, consolidate patterns. So yeah, so they could be related to that memory thing, or not. You know, still ongoing research. I'm still trying to think, who was that scholar of religion that I had in mind? He's like one of the first scholars of religion that, like, kind of really turned it into a field of, like, studying religion, and then that obviously entailed also studying mythology. But yeah, definitely check out Mircea Eliade. Controversial. He's a controversial figure. Because he was part of this Romanian fascist group, which was associated with the Nazis. But, you know, I think the scholarship should be independent from, like, the political views of the dude. Same with, like, Martin Heidegger. Like, yeah, he was a Nazi, but he was also kind of like a low-tier Nazi. What the hell? Oh, blood. And, of course, you don't, like, see traces of Nazism in his phenomenological work. At least I don't think you do. Yeah, I don't want to confront this guy directly. Do I have any more mana? Yeah. Yes. No. Did I get him? Yes! Piece of shit. Lucidity. Yeah, that guy was worth a lot of souls. That's how you know he was actually dangerous. Dangerous fight. But hopefully, I mean, there'll probably be more enemies like that. But hello to my 4 viewers. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions or anything you want to discuss, feel free to ask a question. I can see all the questions in the chat, although I can't exactly see them live. There'll be a delay between me answering them and you posting them, but it won't be too big. Those guys are susceptible to fire. The fire of madness changes your reward fixations. Yeah, it does. This is such a terrible environment to be fighting. But yeah, welcome to my 5 viewers. That's more than I usually have. Usually have a lot less. Usually have like 1 or 2, and I'll just discuss things with them until they get bored, and then get replaced with a new viewer. Where should I go? Probably down here. This is a cool place. I mean, I was here earlier, and I fought some guy. And then I got the item from Ronnie, which flipped this tower, and now it's flipped, which I don't understand. Like, did it flip into the ground, or did it... How does that work? It's already 5:30. Okay, I'm guessing I have to jump onto these wooden beams. Please be judging that correctly. Phew. I'm convinced Earth is flat and stationary. Are you serious? Or are you just messing with me? And it's okay if you're serious, but I probably will spend the next hour or 2 debating you. Actually, you know what? Like, I don't really like to debate, like, in the sense of asserting my own opinions. Whenever I encounter people who I disagree with, I just ask them a lot of questions until they realize their opinions are ridiculous. As a psychologist, that's my natural tendency. Not to, like, judge people's ideas. I mean, you have to judge at some point if, like, somebody has some really stupid or destructive ideas. Especially if, like, they're bad for the person themselves. Not saying, like, believing the Earth is flat is bad, necessarily. Like, bad for your health or something. But, yeah. Flat and stationary. I mean, couldn't you easily check whether it's stationary or not? 100% serious? I'd bet my balls on it. Okay. So that means, I guess, you're convinced all the pictures of the Earth as being a round object are fake? And, like, all of the science that goes into, like, making satellites work, all the assumptions that people who work with satellites are using must also be false, but they somehow get satellites to work anyways. Because you would assume that if the Earth is flat, and some guy assumes that it's round, and he throws a satellite up into the air, I think it's the best belief for mental health, actually. I mean, I'd love for you to elaborate on that as well. Because the thing is, and listen, I respect your opinion, sort of. In this case, maybe less so. But in general, I see a lot of flat Earth thinking as being a consequence of a certain psychological predisposition more so than it is based on just observing the facts. It's based on, I mean, I could ask you more questions, and one question I could ask is, what's your relationship to your father? And depending on your answer, that could explain a lot. But I won't go there, unless you want to ask, unless you want to answer. But essentially, there is a kind of predisposition. See, why isn't this door opened after? There is a kind of predisposition in human psychology to just distrust sources of authority and like distrust like what's considered like normal or like acceptable belief in your society because you have like a kind of rebellious yeah, sorry that your relationship with your dad isn't good. But I mean, if you want to get psychological, this is one of the causes of this. So that psychological predisposition, where you really don't trust authorities, usually results from you not trusting your dad at first, because your dad is supposed to be like the first authority you encounter. And then if you have a bad relationship with them, you begin to like project that onto all sources of authority and all like all figures who you might perceived to be higher than you. You just assume that they don't have your best interest at heart and that they're lying and deceiving you just so they can control you. And like, you know, that in and of itself is not inherently wrong. People will lie to you to manipulate you. It's just that you can't necessarily apply that to everything. And also at some point you do have to trust in the world. You can't like live in a state of like being skeptical of everything. But yeah, if you want to like elaborate on why you think the Earth is flat, you're saying trust the government. You trust the government. See, not necessarily. But again, like, what do you mean by the government? I live in Canada, so I have 3 governments, and the thing is, those governments change every time there's an election. Well, they potentially change. The federal level hasn't changed for a while, and that's really annoying. And if anybody's in power for too long, like Justin Trudeau has been, they inevitably become corrupt and like not really capable of seeing the problems that regular people face because they're just like constantly in a different place, so they become really out of touch. Yeah, to say like you trust the government or don't trust the government, it's like the government changes every once in a while, and like there's a lot of people in the government, so like by saying you don't trust the government, does that imply you don't trust everybody in the government? Because people in the same government don't trust each other. So, like, is it that they're all lying and they're all like they all cooperate in their lying, or like is it too simple to say don't trust the government? Because like it would be like saying don't trust the people. It's like which people? Like who are you talking about? You know? So like the statement trust the government is too like broad. Like are there people in government who I don't trust? Yeah, I don't trust Justin Trudeau. I believe he's corrupt and way too obsessed with his own popularity and his own image, rather than being concerned with like the problems of the people. But again, there are people in Parliament who I could ostensibly trust, or who I do trust. There are people in the government at the provincial level who I trust, and there are people in government at my local level who I trust. The mayor that I recently voted for, I don't trust anyone with responsibilities like a fam. I can't see the full comment because there's like a big heart in the way. 1 second. Yeah, this guy's a pretty tough fight. I'm wondering why he's barely taking any damage. Yeah, I should be using my shield more. I don't trust anybody with responsibility. Do you trust yourself? Like, do you trust yourself as an adult to make like responsible decisions? I believe you can never trust a family man. A family man? Like anybody who has a family, or anybody who starts a family? I wonder what that's about. I do not trust myself, no, but I'm very smart. What do you mean by you don't trust yourself? Like, does that mean that you don't trust your senses, or... Dude, this guy is freaking really strong. And has this ridiculous attack. Anyone with something to lose? That's interesting. Because I think I would trust somebody with something to lose more so than somebody without something. Because you have something to lose, then, what do you think about the book Homo Deus? Oh yeah, I actually have that book. Oh no, yeah. So my brother got me that as a gift. In paperback. I read a little bit of it, but I didn't finish it. But then I also got the audiobook in German because I had this plan to read the audiobook in German while having like the English translation. And then actually I did that for a while and it's pretty good. But I haven't finished it. But there were things about the book that I liked. I liked him talking about gods, like the rise of these new gods in our society. And like the idea that like, in a sense, the polytheistic deities are genuine realities. Like, because, you know, we've become a godlike species. So like, yeah, we're not capital G gods, but we are gods in a sense. Like, you as an individual are a god. Like, maybe within your specific context, you don't feel like a god, but like historically you are like a godlike entity, the likes of which has never really appeared in this universe before. Yikes. It's weird seeing this super fat guy with like a very elegant sword. Alright, me too then. Oh man. I got you on my headphones. We're going for a motorcycle ride to the store. Well, okay. Have fun. I'll be back in the chat in a little bit. Gotcha. See you then. But yeah, what do you think about the book Homo Deus? I need to read more of it. Yeah. That's what the book is called, Homo Deus. That's what he's referring to when he talks about these new gods. But yeah, that's a concept that I wish people would be more receptive to, because it makes perfect sense in my opinion. Like the idea of God, whether or not you believe in God, which is a complicated question, it does correspond to something that definitely exists in the universe. Like maybe God isn't an existing phenomenon in and of itself, but it definitely is an emerging phenomenon. And like you can even view the entire human species as like a single god, or like even like specific countries, like global superpowers, as like in a sense being gods. Like the USA is like kind of God. Like it has an absurd amount of power. It could literally destroy the world if it wanted to. And it is a kind of entity composed of other people, composed of smaller units. Damn it. Oh god. Oh, nice. Can't see what the fucking going on. Wow, this guy's very tough. Any advice on how to beat this guy? If anybody has fought this guy before? God, what a weird design. I know this guy's called like a god skin something, and I remember the last god skin I beat. Try horse. That was an option? Okay. If that's an option, that's what I'm going for. I'm much better fighting on horseback than on foot, I believe. Oh yeah, but going much better so far. He like says a prayer when he does that. He's gonna roll around at me. Yeah. That's such a cool attack. You done, bro? Dude, his fire was just there for so long. Oh god. Oh. Come on, man, please. Ah! No way. Okay, whatever. I have like a decent strat for killing him. Maybe I'll use some blood grease. That'll speed things up. But how are the three of you doing? The three of you are watching me. It could be three. It could be more or less, depending on whether I'm getting accurate information through Streamlabs. I picked up 2 stones, but not my runes. There we go. I don't know why my horse was going so slow there. That's not what I tried to do. Wow, it died? Okay, whatever. Not Bob, good. Just wrapped presents onto... Hi, Bob, again. Wrapped presents, nice. Onto weekend cleaning. Awesome. Yeah, how it works in my family, or how it's been working for a while, amongst my extended family, is that we have like this Secret Santa thing, and we're all like over 20 now. I'm one of the youngest. Ugh, god damn it. So we make it so that each of us gets a each of us pretty much just gets one expensive gift. I'm starting to get more nieces and nephews, and they get their own gifts. But yeah, I'm at the age where I don't need like too much for Christmas. So my Christmas shopping is pretty much done. Should make some more blood grease. Alright, no more fucking around. He's dying this time. Okay, how did that do so much damage to my horse? Oh, nice. No, please don't. Okay, good. Yes! Piece of crap. Noble, Godskin Noble. Robe, bracelet, trousers, cool. Have you thought about starting a podcast? Thought about it. I would need to get like guests and stuff though, which is not a problem these days. But yeah, thought about it. But I don't find myself too good at like the conversational format. There are podcasts on my channel. You can check them out where I have guests and talk to them. But yeah, I'm not super good at like long form discussions. I should probably get better at that first, which will only come with practice. We are an isolated family of 5. Cool. We tried to pick names and do a Secret Santa, but always seemed to figure out who has who. Makes sense. So we all pick the same names as last year. Nice. Yeah. Now I'm getting into the holiday spirit. I mentioned to like a coworker the other day that like I wasn't really feeling it because there's no snow on the ground here. Like I live in southern Ontario, Canada, which normally does have like abundant snow at this time of year, but this year it's none. It's so warm. It was like 10 degrees Celsius the other day. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. But pretty warm for this time of year. Like exceptionally warm. And really annoying too because I like the snow and I like the cold, which is not a popular opinion, but I do really like the cold weather. I don't know what it is with me, but like my normal body temperature is really warm, so like summer is pretty hot for me, even if it's just an average summer, and so I kind of prefer winter when it's colder. I also just like it, like it's more pretty in my opinion. Not more pretty. I'm not saying I like winter more than summer, but I do like my winter, and I like winter when it's winter. And I like my seasons to be consistent instead of the craziness that's happening now. I'm back. Earth was pretty still out there. Did you perceive it to be flat or round? Curse mark of death. Stargazer heirloom. Okay. She bears the curse mark of death. Rump, oh rump. Still nothing. People write the weirdest things. It's a nice view of Liurnia? Oh yeah, that's Liurnia. And that's where I came from. I like winter because there's less consciousness floating around. Bugs, plants. It is more peaceful. I mean, there definitely is less life out there. And yeah, a lot less bugs. And it gets annoying when they come out in spring. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Ronnie. Maybe she has something to say. Oh, Ronnie's not gonna be there, is she? But maybe we can talk to Celibus and maybe kill him. I'll just check. Make sure Ronnie's... Should I check out that armor that I got? Yeah, let's do it. Godskin Noble Hood. Godskin Noble Robe. What in the hell? Such creepy armor. Like, look at the faces. There's like little faces in the armor. God. Check out the other ones. Godskin bracelets and Godskin Noble Trousers. Sometimes forget that this is what my character looks like. I'm not super good with character creation screens. Oh, what's this? There's a Grace here now? Okay, so Ronnie's not here. Does she leave anything for me? Trader. Ronnie's a trader? Okay. Let's go to Celavis. Almost just... Not a very graceful way of getting there. I'm here. Oh, he's dead. Big hat, gown, trousers. Oh, I can still buy things off him. Interesting. I feel like there'd be nothing up here. I don't know why I'm trying, but let's just have a look in case. You never know. Okay, so Celavis is dead. Good. Or is he dead? Or maybe he just turned into like a puppet thing. Hi there, Skytel. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's formulate a plan. The last thing I was doing, I was underground, round about, yeah, somewhere here, trying to fight a boss. Let's go do that. Have you played original Dark Souls? I have, for PS3. One of my favorites. My favorite Souls game is Dark Souls 3, but if I include Bloodborne, it's kind of hard to pick between Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, because I love Dark Souls 3. Yeah, I probably picked Dark Souls 3 overall, but I really do love Bloodborne. But yeah, I played the original Dark Souls. Had a lot of fun with it. Was really bad at it. And like I definitely had the wrong philosophy when playing it, because like I would clear an area but then like be low on health, so I'd be like, okay, I should go back and restart, like you know, get all my flasks back so I can go through this area with all my flasks, but then that would respawn all the enemies and have to do it again. So I kept getting into this mentality of like I need to do it perfectly before I move on. Like, this armor is terrible. I'm gonna take it off. Well, I don't know if it's terrible yet. But I definitely do like my Radon stuff. Yeah. I mean, I miss my Queen Rot Knight. I mean, I have most of the armor, so I'll just put all this on. Yeah, my Queen Rot stuff is definitely the best I have. Like, it doesn't even compare to any of these. They all suck. I mean, these are better for magic and stuff, but yeah. I'm a literal god at Dark Souls 1, yeah? Do you have, like, what was your fastest playthrough time? And have you done any no-hit runs? Or like no death runs? There's a currently $100,000 reward for proof of Earth curvature or motion. Has been to USA court twice. Both judges ruled there no proof in a court of law. Can you give some more details about the ruling? And also, why would that even go to court? Because somebody proved it. And I guess the judge didn't accept it. But yeah, can you give more information about the ruling and stuff? And like which judge? So if the Earth is flat, how come nobody has like found the edge or like taken pictures of the edge? Or like just, you know, flat out fallen off the Earth while trying to go to the edge? I swear I dodged that. Very censored stuff? Why would it be censored? Wouldn't it just be a public ruling? Like, are law proceedings normally... Like, where was this? The US? You'll be stopped and arrested at the 56 pair. Is that where the edge is? So the edge isn't like at Hawaii or something? Wait, where is the 65th parallel? And also, why would someone arrest you? See, that's the thing. See, this is what I meant. Like, the assumption is not that the Earth is flat and we're ignorant. It's also that we know the Earth is flat and somebody's concealing it. And it's that concealing it that has more to do with that psychological bias that I mentioned earlier. There's another one. Great. Than it does with, like, you know, just observing the facts. It's not just a concern about, like, understanding the world as it appears to us. It's also this obsession with, like, there's somebody trying to hide it. And, like, that itself just that is indicative of a kind of psychological bias that I think drives a lot of the thinking that goes behind this, more so than, like, objective facts, or, like, somebody who's really just trying to observe things. That's why I don't trust a lot of conspiracy theories, because I know the psychology behind people who believe in conspiracy theories, and they're more driven by their, like, inherent psychological predisposition than they are by, like, trying to, like, uncover the truth. Let's say. Oh man. Not the right time to be talking about psychology. But yeah, Skytel, if you're a Dark Souls god, you can help me out by giving me some tips or advice, because I am not that good at these games. Also, this boss fight is getting really laggy. Why wouldn't... one sec, there's a whole bunch of comments he wrote. I'll get to them as soon as I'm out of this boss fight. Okay, there we go. You will be stopped and arrested at the 65th parallel. Antarctica circles us. There's vast winds. Okay, so if Antarctica encircles us, that means if I, let's say, leave from the west coast of the United States, I should hit Antarctica by going just west. Just help me, like, understand what's... Oh, yeah, let me just look at this as well. Beautiful. But yeah, just help me understand this. The famous Navy Admiral Byrd went on national television and told people about the lands beyond Antarctica back in the 50s. You do realize people in North Korea have never seen a map of the world? I mean, It's hard to verify that because you'd have to ask everybody in North Korea. Why wouldn't North Korea just trust the government? You mean the North Korean people? The problem is that they do trust the government. It's because they've been told, many of them have been told, again, complicated. Lots of people in North Korea. And like we obviously like to simplify them because that just makes it easier for us to grasp. But the general idea, as far as I know, I'm not an expert on this, is that people are pretty much told from birth that their leaders are like inviolable. Basically, that they're pretty much living gods. And so you should trust everything they say. So they don't really know anything different. Even though they shouldn't trust their government because their government is insanely dictatorial, authoritarian. And yeah, not trustworthy. As are many governments. But again, the general premise that you shouldn't trust the government, I think, is flawed. I think you should check whether you should trust the government or not. And also with respect to what? Like, I trust my government to... okay, hold on. Let me think of an example. If I talk about the federal government... what's something that the federal government does? I do trust the government to generally maintain national highways. Okay, but I don't trust them to be spending my tax money well on defense. Like I believe a lot of those dollars are wasted. But it's, yeah, so that's like the point though, right? Like you trust the government with respect to what? You just don't trust them in general? Like there's this idea that like if somebody's untrustworthy, nothing they say can be trusted. Which is a false idea. It's completely false. It sounds reasonable. Like, if somebody's a liar, you shouldn't believe them, right? Because they're a liar. But it's like, okay, have you ever told a lie in your life? Probably, right? Okay. So if you ever told a lie in your life, does that make you a liar? And if you're a liar, does that mean that from now on, nothing you say can be trusted? Like, it's too simplistic. It's a cognitive distortion to think like that. And a lot of people do think like that, but again, it's based on their kind of psychological predisposition more so than like it being an inappropriate way to think. Oh man, this guy's pretty tough. I beat this guy before. But maybe I had a better character then. Not on my copy of Elden Ring, but on my cousin's. When I was playing this at his house. Alright, now that I'm dead. Yeah, what's the whole thing about North Korea? Like, what is that? How is that relevant? The famous Admiral Byrd? I mean, now you're just throwing a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. JFK assassination, Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, COVID-19, I'm guessing, MK Ultra. Right. But how do these relate to the Earth being flat? I feel like a slashing sword would be better here. This isn't a gargoyle, though. Who told From Software that this was a gargoyle? The gargoyles they had in Dark Souls 1 were gargoyles, but these... I don't know what this is. Yeah, Garonis. But yeah, I'd love for you to elaborate more on your reasoning behind why the Earth is flat and how North Korea. This admiral, I got to look into that to see what you're talking about. But like the ancient Greeks knew the Earth is flat, knew the Earth was round. I mean, their initial assumption was that must have been that it was flat. I mean, like, the thing is, like, they might not have even had an initial assumption. They might have just been like, the Earth is the Earth. We didn't really think about its shape. But eventually, they did discover that it was round using clever experiments, and even were able to predict its curvature to a high degree of precision. But yeah, so like, why would if you want to make it about conspiracies, explain why NASA is lying to us. Like, what's their reason for lying to us about the Earth being round? Like, why would they tell us that it's round if it's actually flat? Like, what's the reasoning there? I'd love to hear that. Again, whenever the thing is, I don't want to like state your argument for you, but if we go back to what you said before, you trust the government. It's like, is that reason enough to believe that with respect to this particular topic that they're lying? It's like the government is untrustworthy, therefore everything they say is probably a lie, is not valid. Because again, everybody has told a lie at some point in their lives. Does that mean that automatically everything they say, the opposite is the truth? Okay, I need to block more. Oh wow, nice. Damn it. Why is the poison hitting me from so far? Oh my god, the poison is so... Okay, I need to put some poison resist. Do I need to summon that guy to do his quest line? Hello, my 5 viewers. I'm glad that there's 5 of you. Sorry, dealing with some business stuff. New client. Okay. Why do you do so little damage? Damn it, Nourish. I don't know. I mean, this weapon might not be good for them. Wait, there's no thing here. There's no grace here, so I have to go back here. Okay, I'll go back here to put that poison thing on. Hey, I was watching the bicameral mind video. What does bicameral mean? Bicameral just means, like, split into two. It actually, like, I think it originally referred to, like, the British parliamentary system, which is bicameral because it has two sections. And because it's, like, compartmentalized into two, that's all it's referring to. And so it's just referring to the way the personality would have been split into two. I was commenting on the video. I was saying that the auditory hallucinations of pharaohs might be the same thing as active. Oh, you're that guy. Oh, hi. Yeah, I remember your comment. Yeah. I was trying to understand because the way I understand active imagination, which is something that I actually do with clients. The way that I understand it is like it's a deliberate process of using your imagination, varying ways. Depends on what you're trying to achieve. And so I was confused as like how the Ka could have been could be explained through active imagination. That seemed like didn't make sense because active imagination is like something that was invented pretty recently. But no, I see what you mean now. Yeah, like their ability to actively imaginate more so than like the psychological treatment of active imagination would explain what they believe about the Ka. Yeah, but yeah, that makes sense. I misunderstood it because of like the way I understand the words active imagination. Wait, I didn't put the... Damn it. I got distracted, and I forgot to put that cure poison. Whoa, this guy does so much damage. Oh, no. Get out! Okay, well, I died anyways. Okay, let's go to the Grace. Let's put that anti-poison spell on. Don't use this. Yeah, okay. Should I try a different weapon? Should I try this? Okay, I'll try this and see how much it does. If it sucks, I'll grab something else, like my axe or my other sword, the Bloodhound sword, which everybody uses for its cool weapon art. But yeah, you can imagine that their imaginings would have been like the Ka, or would have eventually substituted the Ka. So when you use active imagination with clients, what do you imagine yourself talking to? Do you imagine speaking to a feminine entity, for instance, or could it be all sorts of different things? That's actually pretty much on point. Yeah. What you would, what I generally do is, I won't talk you through the whole process, but I'll have clients like eventually imagine a kind of feminine entity talking to them, and when they're imagining it, I like ask them to like try to talk to it, and like see what it says back. What kind of answers does your brain spontaneously produce if you were to imagine this entity, this feminine entity, speaking back to you? And yeah, it can be all sorts of things. Sometimes I'll pick a masculine entity, a trickster entity. It depends like what kind of archetype I'm trying to access. But yeah, femininity is the most common because that's like kind of the most useful for a lot of situations that a lot of people are dealing with because they need to access that part of themselves, especially today. These days we're very hyper. We use the masculine side of our psyches very frequently. Sorry, just making sure I had the right spell. You see the way he jumped in there? Oh, sorry, I was on the phone. It's not a psychological tempest. I think you mean like type. There's simply no proof of curvature or motion. Okay, so to all my viewers who are currently watching, CJ over here, who's been in the chat since the start of the stream, believes that the Earth is flat. And I'm not currently in a position to prove him wrong. I do believe that he's wrong. As I believe the vast majority of people also think that he would be wrong. But if anybody would like to argue with him, unless you also believe the Earth is flat, and then you could also make arguments on his behalf. But I'm trying to understand his perspective. There's simply no proof of curvature or motion. There's a lot of proof. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could prove it. There's like hundreds of experiments. There's a lot of experiments you could do, like personally, but then there's also experiments that people with better equipment can do. But then again, you'd have like all of these logical problems. Like again, the thing I was trying to ask, sorry if you were away when I asked it, and I hope you're listening right now, is why is NASA lying to us? And why is the Russian Space Agency and NASA, why are they both lying to us? Why is the Indian Space Agency lying to us? Why is the Chinese Space Agency lying to us? Why are all of these independent entities who are competitors, who compete against each other and don't like each other, why are they all telling us the same thing about the curvature of the Earth? Is it because the Earth is round and we need to know that it's round and model it as round in order to explore space? Because we do. Like mind control. Right, okay, yeah. So what's the value of controlling our minds for that specific fact? Like why does the Earth being round, like how does that manipulate it? Like why not a belief that Joe Biden is the reincarnation of Jesus? Like that would be a much more, I guess, useful belief for controlling us. How does the Earth being round really control us in any meaningful way? They want you psychologically off-center? Who? And to what end? And were the Greeks who they're all in cahoots? See, the thing is, in order for you to give an answer like that, you just have to like speculate. Like, well, you thought about it. Like all these space agencies all agree that the Earth is round. You thought about that. You're confronted with that fact. And then you just make something up to explain it, that they're all in cahoots. Do you know that they're all in cahoots? Have you seen evidence of that? Or is that the only thing you can posit as an explanation when you're confronted with this fact that, or with this idea that contradicts what you're saying? It's like you have to make up an idea in order to confront it because you want to hold on to your previous belief, even though, like, again, it's just so that you don't have to give up your previous belief. Which is normal. Like that's not a. There's no like pathology here. Yeah, it's an archetype based entity. Well, that's the idea, right? Because you want to like activate different parts of your mind, and because again, different archetypes in a sense are like different personalities. Not exactly. It's more like they contribute to your total personality, but independently they have like their own ways of thinking. Okay, yeah, I'm very weak. Nourish was right. That poison is so strong. Why is it so strong? Okay, they want you psychologically off center. Yeah, I said that. They want you to think you've never been in the same place twice. But why? Like, why did they care? It seems like so much effort for such a like menial goal of not making me think I've been in the same place twice. They want you to think you're insignificant and meaningless, lost in space. Like, how does the Earth being flat, like, you know, undo that feeling? Like, if the Earth is flat or the Earth is round, thinking I'm insignificant can be achieved very, you know, very differently. Like, it's not like thinking the Earth is flat and then suddenly I'm like, wait a second, so what, my life isn't insignificant? And space isn't that big? It's like, it doesn't accomplish that. And I feel like, no offense, sir, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're watching, and I'm glad we're having a discussion, but it does sound like you're just coming up with reasons for each of my objections. These aren't reasons that you've like kind of that you've like researched and found out. They're reasons in response to my objections that you're coming up with on the spot. It's a certain part of your brain that's associated with the left prefrontal cortex and left, I guess their temporal cortex as well, that just kind of fabricates, that gives reasons in response to objections rather than actually like observing the world and coming up with those reasons. It just makes up those reasons because it's trying to defend its previous position. It's what the ego naturally does. Again, nothing remarkable psychologically. Everybody does this, but you know, once as a psychologist, once you see it, you know what kind of underlies a lot of people's psychological motivations, and you realize that that's kind of the explanation behind a lot of what they do and say. Does anybody know if I need to summon this guy for the quest line? Just build a lot of McDonald's to make people feel... Yeah! I agree. That would... Like, there's a lot you could do to make people feel insignificant. Convincing them that the Earth is round doesn't seem to be the most effective one. And also, like, that wouldn't explain, like, why would the Greeks... And the thing is, there was this Greek astronomer who figured out that the Earth was round. Why did he come to that conclusion? Like, was he also in cahoots with people... in the present, with governments in the present? Like, you would have to posit that, right, in order for this idea of yours to make sense. But and then it just seems like a very difficult thing to believe in order to hold on to the belief that the Earth is flat. Okay, a lot written there. 1 second. Oh no, these aren't. There's literally, yes, there's literally no curvature. The horizon stays flat at eye level no matter how high you go. Except it doesn't. People have gone very high and seen the curvature very clearly. And there's a lot of ways to, if you're at the horizon, to show that it actually is curved. All that psychological stuff you can point right back at yourself. Yeah, you're being logical. That's true. That's my problem. Logic is not what we think it is. Logic is just a way of reasoning towards a conclusion based on certain axioms that we believe. But you can just come up with whatever axioms you want and then logic your way to any conclusion. That's exactly the problem. Yeah, I'll respond more as soon as I get clear. All that psychological stuff, I think you're right about that. You can just throw it back at me. And that would psychologically explain why I don't believe the Earth is flat. Or, I mean, there could be psychological reasons for why I don't believe the Earth is flat. But again, that's not my reasoning for why the Earth is flat. That's just my reasoning for why people can be so convinced by something that I view as ridiculous. It's not like me saying, like, oh, the Earth is not flat because of your psychological predisposition. I'm not arguing about the world itself. I'm arguing more about, or I'm making a claim more about the state of a mind that believes that the Earth is flat. It doesn't actually show that the Earth is round. Like, nothing I said about psychology proves that the Earth is round. But a lot of other things prove that the Earth is round without a shadow of the doubt. Oh, I'm alive. Now I'm dead. Okay. You don't think it's insignificant that all of the heavens circle us? I don't know what you mean, that all of the heavens circle us. I mean, even if it is significant, I don't see how that makes the Earth round. Or sorry, the Earth flat. That we are at the center of everything. Oh! Yeah, but why would a flat Earth imply that we're at the center of everything? Like, does it inherently? Like, in order for us to be at the center of everything, that's a new hypothesis, that we're at the center of everything. That doesn't, you don't have to throw in the Earth being flat in order for that to be true. Like, you can argue that we're at the center, but you don't have to argue that the Earth is flat. Like, we could have a round Earth and still be at the center. I'm being logical, yeah. Like I said, it's been to USA court twice. Okay, so it was in the U.S. Do you have, like, any details about the proceedings? Court case, when it took place, who was plaintiff, who was defendant? Oh, I just went in without the summons. Nope, no curvature ever. No curvature ever has been observed? It's definitely been observed. And again, like, how do we make any satellite work with a model? Because, again, people who throw satellites into Earth are operating under the assumption that the Earth is round. So, like, how is it that satellites can work if the model that they're using is completely wrong? The X-15 jet flies per hour, completely flat. I mean, I need to know more what you're arguing. That, like, if the jet flies really fast... See, there's a difference between being logical and being empirical. I believe empiricism is the more useful way to attain knowledge. Just using pure logic is very misleading. Like, you can reason to any conclusion just using pure logic. But, like, your conclusions are only really valid if they apply to the actual world. You're just repeating what the television told me? Yeah, the thing is, the television never told me this. Scientists have told me this. Earth is flat. Sorry, dude. Is flat, dude. Sorry. I mean, how actively do you seek out sources that tell you the opposite? Or do you just, like, specifically look at things that tell you what you... Because I've seen some flat Earth arguments, and they're pretty complicated. And maybe above what I could understand. But I know that a lot of work has been done debunking them, but also just, like, the general... A lot of things would make more sense if the Earth is round. Like I said about the satellite thing. Like, how does any of that work if the Earth is flat? And do people who throw satellites into the air... So you just instinctively feel like you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour? No, I don't instinctively feel like it. I feel like I'm ground to the earth and not moving, but the earth could still be flat, and that still be what I feel, what I experience. Sorry, the earth could still be round, and that's what I experience. Like, there's a way to put those two ideas together. They're not contradictory. And Dilly, I think I'm talking to Ajid. I don't know if Ajid joined my stream. Oh, fuck. I'm out of pots. And this poison is... Dude, like, what? Nothing I can do. What's the best argument that the Earth is flat? I'd like to know as well. I mean, what were you saying before? X-15 jet flies at 4,500 miles per hour, completely flat. P900 camera has taken photos at over 600 miles, and all of these confirm that it's flat. So you're telling me if I asked the pilot of the F-16 jet, or sorry, X-15 jet, whether he thinks the Earth is flat, he'll say yes? Or was it someone else's interpretation of his flight that you're basing that off of? It's called vectors in the ether. When you go up high enough, you can attach satellites to that. The best argument is that you're not... Why would I have to be moving? Like, if I took, like, a basketball and there was a piece of dust on the basketball and spun it around, would that piece of dust from its reference frame experience movement? And again, what you're saying really only applies, like, yeah, we're not moving, but, like, it's possible to, like, well, first of all, I do believe that we're moving. I believe that there are very obvious experiments you could do to show that we're moving, like the fact that if you want to send a rocket into space, you need to take into account the fact that the Earth is moving. So it's not as efficient to launch a rocket into space from, let's say, northern North America as it is from Florida, and we know that, and the reason that's true is because the Earth is moving. Okay, but independently of the Earth moving, it can still be round. Like, you could still posit that the Earth is not moving, but it's round. So, like, you're connecting your hypothesis that the Earth is flat to a lot of other ideas. And then in saying that, like, they all have to be true for the Earth, in order for the Earth to be round. But you're not really addressing the Earth as round part. And you have addressed it, but, like, some of the arguments you're saying aren't really addressing that per se. Like, yeah, we're not moving, okay? But does that imply the Earth is therefore flat? It's like, that's an extrapolation. That's going way farther beyond the thing. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to do multiple things simultaneously. But luckily, D, Beholder of the Dead, is holding his own. Hopefully I don't lose him. Is this guy fighting? Yeah. Dude, why does that do so much damage in such a short amount of time? No, not D. Yes, most pilots are flat earthers. How do you know that? How many pilots have you asked in order for you to believe that? Wouldn't you have to check? To be honest, I couldn't make the contrary claim. I can't say that most pilots are round earthers, but like you'd really have to, if you're making the claim that most pilots are flat earthers, you'd really have to show some strong evidence for that, rather than just saying it. And rather than like, I mean, what would be your source from that? Like, I'd imagine you probably like saw a YouTube video of somebody making that claim, but how did they verify it? And there's so many things I have to manage in a fight like this. Oh my god, why does the poison go so damn far? I'll get to your comments in a second. God damn it. Oh man. Nothing I can do. Okay. Why is only the Earth flat but all the other planets round? God is up for everyone. Ascension is... Sorry, my dog is barking like crazy. Is up for everyone the same? I mean, that sounds like a different topic entirely, but why is my floor flat and the... Sorry, why is the pool table flat and the balls are round? What? Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That it's the point is like, why are you assuming that like our planet is special and that it's flat and that everything else is all the other planets are round? Like, wouldn't it just make more sense for everything to be round? But yeah, we are all equal. Up is for everyone, just the same. Horrible analogies are comparing different things. I'm comparing planets. No one is under you. Yes, most pilots are flat earthers. Yeah, that's what I saw before. Earth is a realm. It's not a planet. It's not an object, therefore it has no edge. Earth would be more easily defined as a system environment, also a machine. It's like it's a Tesla coil. Tesla? I don't know if that's being taken out of context. Because they have online groups where they talk to each other off the record. Like, again, it's like it just sounds like you're coming up with reasons to explain the contradiction that I'm coming up with, the contradictions that I'm pointing out. But then none of these reasons are like verified or checked by you. You're just like coming up with the best possible reason, assuming that you're right, rather than checking whether the claim itself is right. You're just like, you're basing the claims that you're making off of the already presupposed conclusion that the Earth is flat. Because they have online groups where they talk to each other off the record. So like all these pilots are getting together and they're all talking about how the Earth is flat secretly. And nobody knows about it because it's secret. And so that means you can't know about it either. But publicly they say that the Earth is round because they don't want to like be assassinated by the government or whatever. Flight attendants can't even get the right turn. And I'm supposed to trust their knowledge. Lots of pilots have been assassinated after coming out. I highly doubt that. Being a pilot is not an easy job to do. And also, why? Like, why would you go through the trouble of assassinating a guy because he thinks the Earth is flat? Like, it seems like such a crazy step to take in order to accomplish what again? Like, control people, control control them with respect to making them feel they're insignificant, because the government wants you to feel insignificant. So they tell you the Earth is round, which somehow makes you feel insignificant, even though there's a lot of easier ways to achieve that. And they're so strict about it that they'll kill pilots who find out that the Earth is flat from their experience, even though there's tons of pilots, and so all of them can see that the Earth is either flat or round. But yeah, how valid is MBTI in therapeutic settings? I'm asking myself if it was worth it to study MBTI for the last 3 years. Not sure I'm molded by the theory. How big I'm molded by the theory. In my experience, it's somewhat valid, but I think that it's not, like, it's hard to just like put people into boxes. Especially, like, it makes sense to do it in this way, because it is like it's basing itself off of like your psychological modalities and to what extent you use each of them. So like, yeah, you're born with a certain, it would be like, to do an analogy, it would be like, okay, you're born with 5 senses. You're actually born with a lot of senses, but we'll just stick with 5. And then you happen to use your smelling more than your ears for whatever reason. So those pathways in your brain will become more solidified, and the parts of your brain that are there for hearing will become like less used, and so they'll kind of atrophy. It's the same thing with like personality. It's like there's different parts of your psyche, and you're gonna use some more or less than the other. But again, that'll vary in like high degree between different people. So like you could be like, you could literally be 50-50 on any of these psychological modalities. You could be 50-50 on introversion, extroversion. I think like I'm pretty extroverted sometimes, but I'm mostly an introvert. So maybe I'd be like 65-35 approximately. So like it varies a lot between people, and so like this one so you say you're INFJ. One INFJ will greatly vary from another INFJ, potentially. But again, it's more to another person's personality than just these kind of modalities. Like these modalities are important, and it makes sense to like classify people based on which modalities they use the most. But there has to be more to the personality than that. Like a lot more idiosyncrasies. But yeah, I think overall it's a good theory, and it makes sense. Originally, like Jung kind of got it started with his idea of introverts and extroverts, and then it developed beyond that. Man, I'm really bad at this boss. I have too much flat Earth stuck in my head. It's making it hard to concentrate. Earth is a realm, therefore not a planet. Yeah. Gotcha. Both Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla said... Albert Einstein most certainly did not say that the Earth was flat and motionless. In fact, Albert Einstein would be the first person to tell you that just because we can't perceive the motion of the Earth doesn't mean it's not moving. Because all of his theories are about... The idea of relativity itself is about the way things move relative to each other. I mean, that's one of the things about it. That's why it's called relativity. There's more to it than that, obviously. But it definitely presupposes that the Earth is round. Like, the theory that Einstein came up with automatically assumes that the Earth is round. It doesn't make sense if the Earth is flat. It can't make sense if the Earth is flat. Because it's based on the curvature of space-time caused by massive objects that are three-dimensional and therefore not flat. because the equations give you a three-dimensional vector space. And again, that wouldn't really apply if the Earth is flat. And yet he used it on the Earth, a round object, to calculate how we should be throwing satellites into the air, into space, and it works. Is this the second guy? Nope, that's the first guy. Yeah, Jung also came up with the 8 functions. Yeah, exactly. He came up with the 8 functions, but he applied them differently. Dude, I can't get a hit off on these guys. This is ridiculous. Okay. So you really think we landed on the moon? Yeah, I do. It's not that hard to believe. Do you believe? Okay, here. Do you believe that India recently landed on the moon, or was that a lie? They landed a probe on the moon. They didn't land a person. But do you believe that India landed on the moon? I mean, you can even check if we landed on the moon. It's possible to see some of the things that they've left over, if you have the right telescope. And you can see them there, which clearly shows that somebody has been to the moon. Which, again, it's not a crazy thing to believe. I really want to face these gargoyles by myself, but my weapons don't seem to be for it. Maybe I need to upgrade? We'll see, yeah. And planted a flag on the moon, yeah, I agree that we did. But again, what's your justification for thinking that we didn't land on the moon? You can't land on the moon because the moon is made of plasma? How would you know the moon is made of plasma if nobody's ever been there? I swear I blocked that. Right, but how would you know that the moon is made of plasma if nobody's ever been there? Also, you can pretty clearly see it's not. Like, plasma is very bright and like kind of even hard to look at. Serious. Have you tried active imagination, and if yes, had epiphanies? I definitely practice my imagination, but I don't really get, because I need someone to guide me through it. Have I had epiphanies from it? I don't think so. I'd have to think a bit more, because I might have. Especially like a strong epiphanies. Like I have epiphanies all the time, but not probably through an active imagination. For me, that's a bit too deliberate in order to induce that kind of state of mind of like transcendent function. But I'd imagine it working if I guided someone else through the process, or if someone guided me through the process. But I've never had it I never had someone guide me through it. Dude, the way this guy moves is really annoying. Because you can see through the moon? You can? I've never seen it. Over a dozen countries depict the transparent moon on their country's flags. What? Transparent? You mean the crescent moon? It's well documented in astronomy for decades. Before the Baal religion came up, people sighting stars viewed through the moon? Man, what are you talking about? You said transcendent function is the same as meditation? Not exactly. Transcendent function is just when some kind of unconscious content reorganizes itself and becomes conscious in a way that modifies consciousness. Would probably be the... I'm actually making a video about it soon. TN... What is that? Tajikistan? I'm guessing these are the countries, but if you can be more specific about what do you mean by the transparent moon. Also, I have videos about the transcendent function if you want to watch. But yeah, I'm remaking them, so look forward to that. That'll be my next project. But we experience the transcendent function all the time. Like, it's not something you have to deliberately do. Although you can deliberately induce it, it'll just happen naturally. Is this a glitch? Nope. Nice. I bet you'd be able to even understand Jung's original paper on it. It's pretty good. I was reading it recently in preparation for the video. Poison! God damn it. Dude, how is this, like, it's like, what's doing the damage? Is it the poison, or, like, the poison cloud? Come on, D. Ugh. This poison is crazy. Can you interact with the transcendent function directly, though? It's not really an object. It's more like a mechanism, let's say, in your brain. I would connect it to the anima, if I had to guess. It's definitely something that the anima does inside your psyche that causes that transcendence. And if like you're able to like identify with your anima and like you have some control over it, then yeah, you could facilitate it like that. But that's not really what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that video if it has transcendent function. Oh wait, I've been watching you for years already, I think. Oh, well in that case, yeah, you might have come across it already. But yeah, this boss fight is not going well. I'm not usually this bad with bosses. But I'm kind of glad that this isn't going well, because that's what I like about these games. The challenge. Yikes. Good night. Good luck with the boss. Thank you. I doubt I'm going to be able to do it today. I'm going to have to come back on stream and do it. Dude, where is the poison? Where's the poison? Ugh, this is insane. This is insane. I might need Patches to get in here. But I doubt that he's available. Okay. I'm gonna have to respawn elsewhere and allocate flasks. Maybe change my weapon too. You know what? I'm gonna go with my axe. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try this. Maybe it'll produce a better result. want to go in the poison. No, come on. Okay, I'm back from watching that video. Really interesting that the unconscious talks to you in a language you can understand deliberately. Never thought about it like that. Yeah, I mean, that's what dreams are. Arguably, it is like the language that our psyches speak to us in general. Like, it's the language that we're adapted to in the first place. It's just that we also have this other language that we speak, that we use explicitly, and then that kind of interferes with our ability to understand things unconsciously. Does the unconscious talk to you in ways that you cannot understand? It talks to you in ways that are just difficult to understand. Like, if you can't understand it, it's because it's hard to understand. But it's never going to present you with something that's completely ununderstandable, you know? It's going to be possible to interpret what it says, but you may not always be successful in doing so. That's my perspective anyways. It wants to be, yeah, it definitely does want to be understood. It's trying to, think of it as like trying to pass on information to you, but like, it's just not good at talking, and so it has to speak in this other language to do so. Dude, stop. Freaking killing my partner. Damn it. Or does it just like to be respected? I mean, it definitely likes to be respected. No, actually, it's more humble, in a sense. Like, obviously, unconscious is a complicated thing, and it doesn't have like a singular dimensional way of thinking about it. But I think in general, it doesn't care to be respected as much as consciousness and as much as the ego wants to be respected. I mean, that's why it's an ego, right? When we call someone egoistic, that's kind of what it implies. Maybe that's enough. Enough gameplay? I agree. I'll do a round by myself. Maybe treat it like it's a, yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I say a lot. Like, treat it like it's a person, like it's a side of yourself that has humanhood. Oh, come on, man. That's actually a pretty good run, all things considered. Let's gotta remember to apply this. come on, I dodged that. Nope. I hate this poison, man. I wonder who's watching. Hello, viewers, if you're watching. I don't imagine this is particularly entertaining, watching me fight the same boss over and over and over again. But, yeah, that's what this game is like. Why does the poison just go so far? Damn it. It's really hard when there's two of them. I have the feeling of upgrading this weapon, but I don't think... maybe one more upgrade couldn't hurt. you serious? Damn it. This is so difficult. Ah! It's good that it's difficult, though. Like I said. Hi again. Just went into... Sorry. I'll get to your question in a second. Or your comment in a second. Okay, well, I'm watching LOL again. Just went into deep meditation and asked my subconscious if Earth is a ball. It said, "We ain't moving, bro." Confirmed flat. So your unconscious is an all-knowing God that can't be wrong. I wish my subconscious was like that. My subconscious tries to convince me that I was an octopus the other day. Or am I supposed to just take that fact at face value? Cool boss arena. Yes! Finally killed one of them. Okay. Okay, this guy's movesets are a bit different. No! This guy's way stronger than the other guy. Hey, I'm doing no damage to him. Ah, that's so much damage. God damn it. Okay. I guess you can prove anyone exists other than yourself. You can prove? Or you can't prove. I think you're trying to say you can't prove. If you're intellectually honest. Yeah. But you have to have like a kind of faith in something in order to exist. If you're intellectually honest, you don't know for sure with 100% certainty that other people exist. But you could have a leap of faith, and like given all of the possibilities, it's probable that people do exist. It's just that I can't prove with 100% certainty that they exist. But yeah, in a purely pedantic sense, you're kind of right. Pedantic? Maybe that's not the right word. But in a purely like rational sense. You can't prove anyone. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, but you can't prove that we're... So you can't prove that we're not spinning through space on a flying ball. I mean, if we're going by the logic that you use, you literally can't prove anything. And so why would you believe that the Earth is flat? Like, you should be... If you were intellectually honest, you would just be agnostic about it and not think that the Earth is flat or round and just say, I don't know. But you do have a position. Which is fine. You're allowed to have a position. But it's inconsistent with what you just said about us not existing. About not being able to prove it. I know we're not moving. How do you know? How do you know for sure? Like, why would you trust your senses? What if your senses are not telling you the truth? Why are you not considering that possibility? Come on. I have one flask left. Because I believe by making you identify with concepts of ball, Earth can't prove anyone exists. I know we're not moving, there is no position. Time is an illusion, movement is an illusion. 4D makes 2D look like 3D, 2D is flat. Because I believe in the capital S self, cycles are the opposite of spiritual freedom. God is cold, motionless. You believe God is cold and motionless? That seems very different from the universe as we experience. The universe is unbelievably dynamic. To the point where its dynamicism would be probably the main, in my opinion, its main feature. Hell is subject-object experience. Hell is motion represented by fire never being still. That's what you consider hell? I would consider it the opposite. Hell is motionless. It's that sense of never-endingness where nothing ever changes and there's no escape from it because nothing can change. That's what Carl Jung said. Can you but you keep saying these people, you keep saying like Einstein said, agrees with you and believes that the Earth is flat. Where does Jung say... Where does he say that? I can check. I have all his books. If you can find me where he says that, I'll check it out. And also, if you could give me information about that court case you mentioned, which you still haven't done. Because you just keep referring to a court case, but then never explaining where it is or any information about it. Google it. Right. Could you do me a favor? Google it and then tell me where it says he said that. And also, is Google, like, I mean, why do you trust Google? Because Google's probably also in on the experience. Like, if you Googled, is the Earth flat? What would it tell you? Like, just try it. Try it for me. Google. I'm not an encyclopedia. Then why are you claiming he said it? If you don't know where he said it from, why would you claim? It's like I said. If I said, Neil Young once said that Nexus Void is the greatest YouTube channel on the internet, and I just said, well, I mean, he said it. You got to Google it and find it. I mean, you probably won't come up with it when you search for the first time, but it's there somewhere. You just don't have to trust me. It's like if I make the claim that it said it, it's probably because I got the information from somewhere. But yeah, go ahead. Google is the Earth flat and tell me what it says. Just as an experiment. And then tell me why it's saying that. Because you know what it's going to say. It's going to say that the Earth is round. But my question is, why is it saying that the Earth is round? If it's so obvious that the Earth is actually flat. Because it's in on the conspiracy as well, right? And if it's in on the conspiracy, why do you trust it to tell you what Carl Jung said? Like, why do you trust it sometimes when it says things you agree with, but then don't trust it when it says things you disagree with? Could there be a psychological explanation? No, you're not going to Google it? You don't have to. I'm just asking if you could. Just as an experiment. You don't trust Google to tell you that the Earth is flat, but you do trust it to tell you Carl Jung quotes that he supposedly said that confirm or support your beliefs. Like it's you trust it when it tells you the thing you want to believe, but you don't trust it otherwise. And why don't you trust it? Why is Google lying to you in this case? Like, explain that, if you could. Oh, it's getting a bit late. I should probably go soon. Okay, yeah, that'll probably be my last run through. I'll be back to keep fighting this boss. And I'll keep the stream up a little bit longer, because I know that if I leave too early, it'll cut off randomly without me giving an explanation. But yeah, thanks for watching. I guess you're the only person watching right now, but if there's someone else watching, thank you for watching. I'll definitely be back to tackle this boss, because, yeah, I haven't been able to beat it. Maybe I'll go upgrade my axe and be back. Or maybe I'll even, use a rune arc to fight him. Yeah, but anyways, take care. Hope you have a good day, good holiday season. See ya.